Hi guys, I'm Shandor, welcome to my cinema. Today I'm about to watch the 1950 classic All About Eve. I know very little about this movie. I know that Bette Davis stars in it, as well as Baxter. Also, I think Thelma Ritter's in this movie, whom I absolutely loved in Rear Window. And I think Marilyn Monroe is also going to appear in this one, which is going to be very, very interesting. I've heard great things about this movie, so let's not waste any more time. Here comes All About Eve. 3, 2, 1.
The Sarah Siddons Award for Distinguished Achievement is perhaps unknown to you. It has been spared the sensational and commercial publicity that attends such questionable honors as the Pulitzer Prize, and those awards presented annually by that film society.
Oh, a film award.
This is the dining hall of the Sarah Siddons Society. The occasion is its annual banquet and presentation of the highest honor our theater knows. The Sarah Siddons Award for Distinguished Achievement.
Okay.
The minor awards, as you can see, have already been presented.
Minor awards.
Minor awards are for such as the writer and director.
Okay.
Since their function is merely to construct a tower so that the world can applaud a light which flashes on top of it.
Questionable.
And no brighter light has ever dazzled the eye than Eve Harrington.
Eve Harrington.
Eve. But more of Eve later.
Okay.
All about Eve, in fact.
Nice.
My name is Addison DeWitt. My native habitat is the theater. In it, I toil not, neither do I spin. I am a critic and commentator.
Okay, we've got a critic.
This is Karen Richards. She is the wife of a playwright, therefore of the theater by marriage. Lloyd Richards lectured on the drama. The following year, Karen became Mrs. Lloyd Richards. Meet Max Fabian. He is the producer of the play, which has won for Eve Harrington the Sarah Siddons Award.
He's very excited.
Margot Channing is a star of the theater.
Bette Davis. That was a great exposition scene, you know? I loved the camera work. I loved how the whole thing was arranged. It was great.
How fitting that it should pass from my hands to hers. Such young hands.
No, nice. Nice edit.
Such a young lady. Young in years, but whose heart is as old as the theater. Her deep and abiding love for us, for what we are, and what we do.
She doesn't seem excited.
Honored members, ladies and gentlemen, for distinguished achievement in the theater, the Sarah Siddons Award to Miss Eve Harrington.
Okay, let's see Eve. Okay. Miss Eve Harrington. Interesting to see the reactions. Especially Bette Davis's. I wonder what's going on.
Eve. You all know all about Eve.
I don't know anything about Eve.
What can there be to know that you don't know?
Everything.
That was early October.
Oh, I sense a story coming on.
Only last October.
Last October, okay. Margot Channing in Aged in Wood.
Where was she? Strange. I'd become so accustomed to seeing her there night after night. I found myself looking for a girl I'd never spoken to, wondering where she was. There you are. It seemed odd suddenly. You're not being here.
Why should you think I wouldn't be? I hope you don't mind my speaking to you.
Not at all.
I've seen you so often. It took every bit of courage I could raise.
To speak to just a playwright's wife? I'm the lowest form of celebrity.
You're Margot Channing's best friend. You and your husband are always with her. And Mr. Sampson. What's he like?
Bill Sampson? He's a director.
He's the best.
He'll agree with you. I'm going to take you to Margot.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes, she's got to meet you.
No, I'd be imposing on her. I'd be just another tongue-tied, gushing fan.
There isn't another like you. There couldn't be.
Okay, so she's a fan of Bette Davis.
Hi.
Hello.
Well, now, Miss Channing,
How was the
I don't
concert?
think you can rightly say we lost the war.
Let me fix your drink.
We was more starved out. you
Oh,
might
there's
say.
Thelma Ritter.
That's why I don't understand
That's
all
awesome.
these plays about love-starved Southern women. Love was one thing we were never starved for in the South.
Margot's interview with a lady reporter from the South.
And the minute it gets printed, they're going to fire on Gettysburg all over again.
What's after they
She's just as witty as she was in Rear Window. That's an interesting attitude towards fans, actually. Although she might be, you know, fed up with them. Yeah, Thelma Ritter is the best. She's the best.
I'd like anything Miss Channing played in.
Would you really? How sweet.
I doubt very much that you'd like her in the Harry Ape.
Oh, please don't misunderstand me, Mr. Richards. I think that part of Miss Channing's greatness lies in her ability to pick the best plays.
But you must have friends, a home, family.
She doesn't. I love how the camera moves. So subtle, but so good. Awkward silence. Okay.
Well,
nice.
it started with the play before
Nice
this
framing.
Remembrance.
one. Remembrance.
Why don't you start at the beginning?
Oh, couldn't possibly interest you.
Please.
They're interested.
I guess it started back home. Wisconsin, that is. It was just Mom and Dad and me. Acted out all sorts of things. What they were isn't important. But somehow, acting and make-believe began to fill up my life more and more. It got so I couldn't tell the real from the unreal.
Interesting. I love her voice. I love her voice so much.
Eddie was in the Air Force. They sent him to the South Pacific. They forwarded the telegram from Milwaukee. The one that came from Washington. To say that Eddie wasn't coming at all. That Eddie was dead.
Oh, that sucks. They are genuinely interested, you know?
And then one night, Margot Channing came to play in Remembrance. And I went to see it. Well, here I am.
That was amazing. She did such an amazing job.
Does my career mean nothing to you? Have you no human consideration?
Show me a human and I might have. Bill. Bill, this is Eve Harrington.
Hi. My wonderful junkyard. The mystery and dreams you find in a junkyard.
Heaven help me. Tell you what, we'll put Stanislavski on his plane, you and I, and then go somewhere and talk.
Well, if I'm not in the way.
I won't be a minute.
Interesting. Apparently she took a liking for her.
I'll be at the old stand tomorrow matinee.
Not just that way. As a friend.
I'd like that.
They're so nice to her. All of them.
Got any messages? What do you want me to tell Tyrone Power?
Just give him my phone number. I'll tell him myself. Kill the people.
The acting is already incredible in this movie. Everybody is just absolutely fantastic, you know. I read somewhere that this is based on a theater play, and it very much feels like a theater play, actually. I think it was a theater play.
Isn't it silly? Suddenly I've developed a big protective feeling toward her.
Yeah, I could tell.
A lamb loose in our big stone jungle. That same night we sent for Eve's things. Her few pitiful possessions.
Really?
She moved into the little guest room on the top floor.
Interesting.
The next 3 weeks were out of a fairy tale, and I was Cinderella in the last act. Eve became my sister, lawyer, mother, friend, psychiatrist, and cop.
Interesting.
The honeymoon was on.
I'm sensing trouble, though. Yeah, she definitely looks at her, you know, with the utmost admiration.
Oh, I could watch you play that last scene 1,000 times. Cry every time.
Performance number 1000 of this one, if I play it that long. You bought the new girdles a size smaller. I can feel it.
Something maybe grew a size larger.
When we get home, you're going to get into one of those girdles and act for 2.5 hours.
I couldn't get into the girdle in 2.5 hours. She's got 2 things to do. Carry clothes and press them wrong. And don't let anybody try to muscle in.
Oh. Ambition, huh?
Eve. We'd better let Mrs. Brown pick up the wardrobe.
The silence is great. Yeah, there's definitely something going on.
We are ready with the call. You placed for 12 midnight, California time to Mr. William Sampson, Beverly Hills.
I place.
Go ahead, please.
Margot, what a wonderful surprise. What a thoughtful, ever-loving thing to do.
Bill! Have I gone crazy, Bill?
You're my girl, aren't you?
That I am.
Then you're crazy.
Happy birthday, darling.
Well, reading could have been better. Just said it. Now, many happy returns of the day.
Many happy returns of the day.
I know all about the party. Eve wrote me.
Oh.
She did.
She hasn't missed a week since I left. But you know all about that. You probably tell her what to write.
Nope.
Good night, darling.
See you.
Yeah, she seems to be taking over her life, basically. I mean, Eve taking over Margot's life. Weird. Yeah, she's pretty distressed about it. No wonder. I'd be too. You'd be too.
You don't like Eve, do you?
You want an argument or an answer?
An answer.
No.
Why not?
Now you want an argument?
She's the best.
Like she's studying you.
Yeah.
Like you was a play or a book or a set of blueprints.
Pretty much.
How you walk, talk, eat, think, sleep.
I'm sure that's very flattering, Bertie. I'm sure there's nothing wrong with it. By any chance, did you place a call from me to Bill for midnight California time?
Golly, I forgot to tell you.
Yes, dear, you forgot all about it.
Well, I was sure you'd want to, of course, being his birthday, and you've been so busy these past few days. And last night I meant to tell you before you went out with the Richards. I guess I was asleep when you got home.
Yes, I guess you were. It was very thoughtful of you, Eve.
Yeah, this is weird. Yeah, Thelma Ritter's right, you know? This is not gonna go well. Yeah. Eve seems to be a lot smarter than she lets people on, you know?
Where's Bill? He's late.
Late for what?
Oh, we danced the party.
I ain't dancing. He's been here for 20 minutes.
Well, I certainly think it's odd he hasn't even come up to.
Uh-oh. Is he with Eve? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that silence says it all.
Don't let it worry you, said the cameraman. Even Tamil couldn't see anything looking through the wrong end, so that was the first and last.
Don't let me kill the point, or isn't it a story for grown-ups?
You've heard it. About the time I looked through the wrong end of the camera finder.
Remind me to tell you about the time I looked into the heart of an artichoke.
I ran into Eve on my way upstairs, and she told me you were dressing.
That's never stopped you before.
Mm-hmm.
We started talking. She wanted to know about Hollywood. She seemed so interested.
She's a girl of so many interests.
It's a pretty rare quality these days.
A girl of so many rare qualities. So many qualities so often. Her loyalty, efficiency, devotion, warmth, and affection, and so young. So young and so fair.
Yeah, she's jealous.
You know what I feel about this age obsession of yours? And now this ridiculous attempt to whip yourself up into a jealous froth because I spent 10 minutes with a stage-struck kid.
20.
30 minutes, 40 minutes, what of it?
Stage-struck kid. She's a young lady of qualities. And I'll have you know I'm fed up with both the young lady and her qualities. Studying me as if I were a play or a blueprint, how I walk, talk, think, act, sleep. As it happens, there are particular aspects of my life to which I would like to maintain sole and exclusive rights and privileges.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes perfect sense.
And to intimate anything else doesn't spell jealousy to me. It spells a paranoid insecurity that you should be ashamed of.
Cut, printed. What happens in the next reel? Do I get dragged off screaming to the snake pits?
Miss Channing,
Wow.
the hors d'oeuvre here.
Thank you, Eve. I'd like a martini, very dry.
I'll get it.
Yeah, I'm absolutely fascinated by the acting in this movie, you know? Everyone is just so amazing. Bette Davis especially, at this point, she's just like out of this world, you know? And I think her concerns, you know, have merit to them. Marilyn Monroe! That's Marilyn Monroe.
Common.
Then you two must have a long talk.
I'm afraid Mr. DeWitt would find me boring before too long.
You won't bore him, honey. You won't even get a chance to talk.
Yeah.
Claudia, come here.
Tell you what. Why don't I read with her?
Would you?
Anything to help you out, Max.
Now, that's cooperation. I appreciate it.
Not at all. And now you can do me a great favor, if
Just
you would.
name it.
Give Eve Harrington a job in your office. You get quick action, don't you?
She wants to get rid of her, doesn't she?
Bill's 32. He looks 32. He looked at 5 years ago. He'll look at 20 years from now. I hate men.
She's amazing.
Don't worry, Lloyd. I'll play your play. I'll wear rompers and come in rolling a hoop, if you like.
Yeah, okay, so we've got an actress, you know, who's very, very concerned about aging, which is pretty much understandable, you know?
Miss Channing's affairs are in such good shape, there isn't enough to keep me as busy as I should be, really. Not that I'd even consider anything that would take me away from her. But the other day, when I heard Mr. Fabian tell Miss Channing that her understudy was going to have a baby, and they'd have to replace her.
And you want to be Margot's new understudy?
I don't let myself think about it even. But I do know the part so well. And every bit of the staging.
Oh.
There'd be no need to break in a new girl.
Oh.
Margot just doesn't miss performances. If she can walk, crawl, or roll, she plays.
I'm sensing trouble.
The show. Would you speak to Mr. Fabian about it?
Of course.
You won't forget?
I won't forget.
Yeah, she definitely has some ulterior motives, you know? Yeah, she basically wants to become Margot Channing, you know? That's what she wants, I think.
Oh, waiter.
And that isn't a waiter, my dear, that's a butler.
Well, I can't yell, "Oh, butler," can I? Maybe somebody's name is Butler.
You have a point. An idiotic one, but
I'll agree to this. To be a good actor or actress or anything else in the theater means wanting to be that more than anything else in the world.
Yes. Yes, it does.
See? That's what she wants.
It's like waves of love coming over the footlights and wrapping you up.
Oh yeah, she wants attention, right?
Imagine to know every night that different hundreds of people love you. They smile, their eyes shine, you please them. They want you.
Yeah, she wants attention and fame. It's toxic. Yeah, who? Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Margot, as you know, I've lived in the theater as a Trappist monk lives in his faith. I have no other world, no other life. And once in a great while, I experience that moment of revelation for which all true believers wait and pray. You were one.
Uh-oh.
Gene Eagle's another. Paolo Vesely, Hayes, there are others, 3 or 4.
But
Eve Harrington will be among them.
I figured.
It wasn't a reading, it was a performance. Brilliant, vivid, something made of music and fire.
How nice. How nice for Lloyd. How nice for Eve. How nice for everybody.
Eve was incredibly modest. She insisted that no credit was due her, that Lloyd felt as he did only because she read his lines exactly as he'd written them.
Now, Max, I don't want you working this child too hard just because you promised. As you see, I kept my promise, too.
It's all over.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how enchanting. However did you two get the idea of letting Eve read with Miss Caswell?
Well, she's your understudy.
Eve, my understudy? I had no idea.
Well, I thought you knew. She was put on over a week ago.
So Eve is not working for Max after all. Max, you sly puss. How was Miss Caswell?
Back to the Copacabana. But Eve, Margot, let me tell you about Eve.
I was dreadful, Miss Channing. Believe me, I have no right to be anyone's understudy, much less yours.
I'm sure you underestimate yourself, Eve. You always do. You were about to tell me about Eve.
You'd have been proud of her.
I'm sure.
She was a revelation.
Oh, to you, too. Also, it must have seemed so new and fresh to you, so exciting to have your lines read just as you wrote them.
Addison.
So full of meaning, fire, and music.
Yeah, she's pissed, obviously.
This genius of yours for making a barroom brawl out of a perfectly innocent misunderstanding at most.
Perfectly innocent. Men have been hanged for less. I'm lied to, attacked behind my back, accused of reading your silly dialogue as if it were the holy gospel.
I never said it was.
You may change this star anytime you want for a new and fresh and exciting one, fully equipped with fire and music, anytime you want, starting with tonight's performance.
What?
I shall never understand the weird process by which a body with a voice suddenly fancies itself as a mind. Just when exactly does an actress decide they're her words she's saying and her thoughts she's expressing?
Usually at the point when she has to rewrite and rethink them to keep the audience from leaving the theater.
It's about time the piano realized it has not written a concerto.
Wow. Wow. Okay, I haven't mentioned the writing so far, but I mean, these lines are just absolutely incredible, you know, so elegant, and yet, they're perfectly expressing, the rift that is between these people at this moment. It's incredible.
The gong rang. The fight's over. Calm down.
I will not calm down.
Don't calm down.
This movie really makes you feel for Bette Davis. For sure.
You've got to stop hurting yourself and me and the two of us by these paranoid tantrums.
Oh, that word again. I don't even know what it means.
Well, it's about time you found out. I love you. I love you.
Ha!
You're a beautiful and an intelligent woman.
A body with a voice.
A beautiful and an intelligent woman and a great actress.
Yeah.
You have every reason for happiness.
Except happiness.
Every reason. But due to some strange, uncontrollable, unconscious drive, you permit the slightest action of a kid like...
A kid.
Of a kid like Eve to turn you into an hysterical, screaming...
It's interesting because no one else, sees what is actually happening except for her. Eve is, maybe consciously or unconsciously, pretty much putting her out of work, Whoa. Are they breaking up? Basically? This is tragic. This is freaking tragic, man. Did not expect that from that movie. This movie. Yeah. Her whole life is just falling apart because of, this young girl. Young woman. Whatever.
My big idea came to me just sitting on a couch.
Uh-oh.
that boot in the rear to Margot.
Oh.
Heaven knows she had one coming.
Hey.
From me, from Lloyd, from Eve, Bill, Max, and so on. We'd all felt those size 5s of hers often enough.
Hey.
And after all, it was no more than a perfectly harmless joke, which Margot herself would be the first to enjoy.
What?
And no reason why she shouldn't be told about it.
What is she planning to do? Okay, you know, it's interesting because, well, not everybody, but it seems like, you know, her
Hello.
Margot's friends are basically
Will
turning
you
on
please
her.
call Miss Eve Harrington to the phone? Not at all, I'll wait.
And of course, I mean, she's not the easiest person, you know, but she's not terrible. I don't find her terrible.
As it is, she'll barely make the theater.
5:55. We'll be at the station in plenty of time. You know, what's this?
Uh-oh. Out of gas? Yep.
But it can't be. We can't be out of gas. I filled it myself yesterday. Wasn't it full when you drove to Brewster this morning?
Well, I guess I didn't look. You know I don't pay attention to those things.
Well, no sense in just sitting here. I'm going to walk up about a half a mile just in case.
That sucks.
We've all been a little tense lately. Come to think of it, I haven't been very pleasant for weeks. For that, I'm truly sorry. More than any two people I know, I don't want you and Lloyd to be angry with me.
See, she is
We're never
sensible.
deeply angry. We just get mad the way you do.
Yeah.
We know you too well. Bill's in love with Margot Channing. He's fought with her, worked with her, and loved her. But 10 years from now, Margot Channing will have ceased to exist. And what's left will be what?
Wow.
Margot, Bill is all of 8 years younger than you.
And those years stretch as the years go on. I've seen it happen too often.
Wow, that's profound, you know?
And in the last analysis, nothing's any good unless you can look up just before dinner or turn around in bed, and there he is. Without that, you're not a woman. You're something with a French provincial office or a book full of clippings.
Ah.
But you're not a woman.
Yeah, I love how, you know, this movie just tackles how aging affects women, you know, because it's different for guys and women, you know? It's different for men and women. Interesting enough, usually, you know, men reach their peak at around 35 to 45 or something. But, you know, yeah, for women, you know, they get less fertile and things like that. It's kind of a reverse thing. Oh yeah, and then Eve played the part.
And what a happy coincidence that several representatives of other newspapers happened to be present.
Oh.
All of us invited that afternoon to attend an understudy's performance
Interesting.
about which the management knew nothing until they were forced to ring up the curtain at 9 o'clock.
I had my doubts.
You shouldn't have had any doubts.
Well, after all, the
Oh,
other day
she's
was
in
one
that
scene.
dress.
The woods are full of one-scene sensations. But you did it. With work and patience, you'll be a good actress. If that's what you want to be.
Is that what you want me to be?
I'm talking about you and what you want.
So am I.
Oh.
Ever since that first night here in this dressing room.
When I told you what every young actress should know,
When you told me that whatever I became, it would be because of you.
makeup's a little heavy.
And for you.
What I go after, I want to go after. I don't want it to come after me.
Wow. 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 Haha, suck it. Yeah, she is definitely a manipulator, you know?
A revolutionary approach to the theater. But if I may make a suggestion,
Please do.
I think the time has come for you to shed some of your humility. It is just as false not to blow your horn at all as it is to blow it too loudly.
I don't think I've done anything to sound off about.
We all come into this world with our little egos equipped with individual horns.
True.
If we don't blow them, who else will?
I say your idolatry of Margot started in San Francisco, didn't it?
That's right.
San
Oh,
Francisco, an oasis of civilization in the California
that wasn't
desert.
too convincing.
Tell me, do you share my high opinion of San Francisco? What theater was it in San Francisco? Was it the Schubert?
Yes, the Schubert.
I don't think so. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
In this rat race, everybody's guilty till they're proved innocent. One of the differences between the theater and civilization.
Yeah.
What gets me is how all the papers in town happen to catch that particular performance.
Lloyd says it's a publicity release.
I came as soon as I read that piece of filth. I ran all the way.
Wow. You know what? This movie is a lot heavier than I thought this was gonna be. You know? There are some genuinely tragic moments in this movie. And sorry if, you know, I can't say anything smart about this movie overall, but I'm just so fixated, you know, by the acting. I'm in love with the acting in this movie.
We could put footsteps into production right away.
I'm beginning to catch up.
If we can cast it properly, that is.
Uh-huh.
Maybe get some younger actress for the part. Someone who'd look the part as well as play it.
You've got to admit it'd be a novelty.
Now you're quoting Addison or Eve.
Lloyd Richards, you are not to consider giving that contemptible little worm the part of Cora.
Now,
she is catching up. She is catching up.
It's not been exactly a compromise all these years. Why, half the playwrights in the world would give their shirts for that particular compromise.
Now, just a minute.
It strikes me that Eve's disloyalty and ingratitude must be contagious.
Yep.
All this fuss and hysteria because an impulsive kid got carried away by excitement and the conniving of a professional manure slinger named DeWitt. Now, you, for one. I told her you were set on Margot playing the part, and I certainly wouldn't make a change without your approval.
That's fine. Fine and dandy. Just refer all of Miss Eve Harrington's future requests to me.
Wow.
To Margot. To my bride-to-be.
Glory, hallelujah.
Well, of all the you...
When are you going to do it?
Tomorrow we meet at City Hall at 10. And you're going to be on time.
Yes. Well, this beats all world's records for running, jumping, or standing golf.
Uh-oh.
Please forgive me for butting into what seems such a happy occasion, but it's most important that I speak with you. Please, and that's underlined, meet me in the ladies' room, Eve.
Uh-oh.
You really have a low opinion of me, haven't you? I'll give you some pleasant news. I've been told off in no uncertain terms all over town.
How did your luncheon turn out with the man from Hollywood?
Some vague promises of a test, that's all. If a particular part should come along, one of those things.
But the raves about your performance.
An understudy's performance.
Oh?
Don't worry too much about what people think. You're very young and very talented. And believe it or not, if there's anything I can do.
There is something.
Uh-oh.
Something most important you can do.
You want to play Cora. You want me to tell Lloyd I think you should play her.
If you told him so, he'd give me the part. He said he would.
Whoa. What? Whoa. Okay, now I get it. So, you know, them staying in a car, you know, and Margot's missing the show was intentional. Holy crap. Wow. Holy crap. Holy. Holy crap. Wow, she is brutal. That is just, wow, that's brutal. Yeah, she's a master manipulator. And also, I mean, Karen is, you know, to be blamed as well because, you know, it was her little idea and it was a terrible idea. What? Wow.
Hello, this is Lloyd Richards. Where is Eve? Let me talk to her.
Hello, Mr. Richards. She's upstairs in her room. I really hate to bother you this way, but the way Eve's been feeling, I've just been worried sick, what with her leaving tomorrow for New Haven and all.
Tell her not to worry. Tell her I'll be right over.
Oh. Holy.
Addison, just a few minutes ago, when I said this would be a night to remember, that it would bring me everything I ever wanted.
Oh, yeah, something about an old road ending and a new one starting, all paved with stars.
I didn't mean just the theater.
What else?
Oh. Yeah, she's a total opportunist.
Lloyd Richards.
Lloyd Richards. That's what she wants.
He's going to leave Karen. We're going to be married.
Jeez. Okay. Ah.
Taking it for granted that you and I...
Whoa!
Now remember, as long as you live, never to laugh at me.
Wow.
At anything or anyone else, but never at me. Your name is not Eve Hancock.
Oh. Is it? Uh-oh. Because? What? Well, she's busted.
San Francisco has no Schubert Theater. You've never been to San Francisco. That was a stupid lie, easy to expose, not worthy of you.
I had to get in to meet Margot. I had to say something, be somebody, make her like me.
And she did like you. She helped and trusted
Yeah.
you. You paid her back by trying to take Bill away.
Yep.
That's not true.
That is true.
I was there. I saw you and heard you through the dressing room door. Now, do you want to change your story about Lloyd beating at your door the other night?
Please, please.
Yeah, screw you. Screw you.
That I should want you at all suddenly strikes me as the height of improbability.
Ah!
And you realize and you agree how completely you belong to me?
Yes, sir.
Whoa. Brutal.
Then take your nap, and good luck for tonight.
Huh. Wow. Well, she found her match, you know, with this guy. Oh, and here we are.
She gave
Okay.
the performance of her life, and it was a night to remember. That
For
night.
sure. Holy crap.
Mrs. Lloyd Richards.
The look on her face. Yeah. This is kind of her fault.
Was a great actress and a great woman. Margot Channing.
Her look too. Jeez.
How can I repay Lloyd Richards?
Man, everyone is just so down.
Nice speech, Eve. But I wouldn't worry too much about your heart.
Ah! Ah! That was, wow. Interesting, right? You know, when you achieve everything you ever wanted, you should feel really, really happy, right? But what matters is how were you able to achieve those things? Because, you know, if it's done through manipulation and, you know, just tactics and, hey, who's there? Oh, whatever. Anyway, you know what I mean. So is the method, you know, by you were able to achieve those things. That's what matters, you know.
Who are you?
Miss Harrington.
What are you doing here?
I guess I fell asleep.
Oh.
You probably won't believe me.
Probably not.
It was for my report.
What report? To whom?
About how you live, what kind of clothes you wear, what kind of perfume and books, things like that. I don't care if I never get home.
That's the door.
You rest. I'll get it.
Haha, interesting.
Miss Harrington's resting, Mr. DeWitt. She asked me to see who it is.
Oh, well, we won't disturb her rest. It seems Miss Harrington left her award in the taxicab. Tell me, how did you know my name?
Right.
It's a very famous name, Mr. DeWitt.
And what's your name?
Phoebe.
Phoebe?
I call myself Phoebe.
Just a taxi driver, Miss Harrington. You left your award in his cabin. He brought it back.
Oh. Put it on one of the trunks, will you?
Yeah, that same malicious intent in her eyes. What an awesome shot. That's a great last shot for this movie, you know? Oh, look at her eyes. Yeah, she's gonna do everything she can to get there. Well, guys, this was all about Eve. Well, this was great. This was great. I mean, the acting in this movie is just absolutely out of this world. And also, you know, the themes in this movie, I think, are very, very mature and still, you know, very much relevant this day. Like, for example, you know, what it means, what aging means for a woman, for example. Because, okay, I'm talking about, you know, very, very general term, okay? But for many, many women, beauty and youth is the only thing they've got. I'm not putting down anyone, okay? Okay, I know some amazing, very, very smart young women and whatever, you know. I'm talking about, you know, the plaza chicks and whatever, you know. The ones who think, you know, they can get everything and whatever in this world. Well, yeah, that's true. For a while. But then, you know, once their beauty fades, well, their opportunities fade as well. Now, obviously it's different for actresses, but it was so interesting to see Bette Davis's character going through this sort of midlife crisis, you know, where she was like, well, I don't think I can play, you know, someone who's supposed to be 15 years younger than, you know, I actually am. So there's this fear, you know, but I think by the end of the movie, she actually got over that. And I think she accepted herself as she is, which was amazing. Also, it was so interesting to see Eve's character, you know, and Baxter was fantastic in this movie, by the way, you know, being this master manipulator, but then by the end of the movie, you know, she didn't get the happiness I think she so wanted and craved, which I think was a due punishment for her, you know, and for her actions, because, you know, I mean, please don't screw people up, you know, and whatever, that's not right. So I think the writing in this movie was very, very strong. The dialogues were very, very well written. And I mean, Bette Davis, seriously, Bette Davis was just absolutely out of this world in this movie. I want more Bette Davis in my life. So guys, please recommend me more Bette Davis movies because she was just absolutely fantastic. My only small problem with this movie was I wanted more Thelma Ritter because she was just so amazing, you know? I love Thelma Ritter. She was just incredible in this movie. More Thelma Ritter. I wanted more Thelma Ritter. And also it was so interesting to see Marilyn Monroe playing, you know, this really, really small role. I mean, this movie was done in 1950. So I think she was still an up-and-coming actress, you know. It was very, very interesting to see her in this small, minor role, you know. But overall, I really, really enjoyed this movie. I mean, this was magnificently done in every aspect. So, hey, thank you so much, guys, for recommending me this movie. Yes, this was a recommendation by all of you. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed watching this movie together with me. Thank you all for watching this movie together with me. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe. And see you all next time at the cinema.